Hey guys, it's your humble host, or Kayla if you prefer. So I'm back with a important video. This does have to do with another custody case. Everything so far seems fine. No, I'm not involved with it. But this was an article I came across about a day or so ago. It's titled For the Ninth. So anyway, we're going to read what it's about because the tide when it comes to family court is changing for the better. Let's read. Divorcing parents have a right to post their stories online, court says. A ruling in Massachusetts finds the involuntary non-disparagement orders commonly used to keep spouses from discussing their cases on social media are unconstitutional, aka gag orders. Um, the incriminating split of Masha and Ronnie Shack ended up where many divorces do these days, on Facebook. As the proceedings unfold, Mr. Shack offered a running commentary on social media, shared with the couple's rabbi, assistant rabbi, and members of their synagogue. Court documents show. One sec, here we go. He created a GoFundMe page entitled Help Me Keep My Son. Custody battle. He called his ex-wife an evil liar. He illustrated the post with a video of their 1-year-old son and told their friends to unfriend her. This was until a probate court judge banned Mr. Shack from posting on social media about his divorce, a common practice known as non-disparagement order. A ruling this week by the Massachusetts Supreme Judicial Court, stemming from the Shack's divorce, found such bans to be unconstitutional, a decision that could have broad implications in the state. As important it is to protect a child from emotional and psychological harm that might follow from one's parent use of vulgar or disparaging words about the other. Merely reciting the interest is not enough to satisfy the heavy burden of restricting speech, Justice Kimberly S. Budd wrote in a 13-page ruling. Jennifer M. Lamanna, a lawyer who represented Mr. Shack in the appeal, called the ruling a game changer because family and probate judges in the state frequently give such orders, and this is actually all over the U.S., and it's currently why Jeff Younger of Save James can't talk to the media anymore, and treat violations as contempt of court, carrying severe penalties. There are thousands of these out there, which is why this is, for Massachusetts purposes, a landmark ruling. And usually when you have these type of rulings in one court, Supreme Court of one state, other states kind of tend to follow because, as I said before in my other videos, Save James isn't my first custody case. There's 2 others, no, 3 others. Save James, obviously. Daddy of 5, Rose Hall was gagged. Justice for Kara's Kids, Kara was gagged. Save Miles, I don't have any updates at this time for that one. He has been locked out of information in regards to his son Miles, but they don't like him talking about what's going on either. So his first GoFundMe was struck. You guys kind of get the idea. It's always a tactic when it comes to custody battles for the parent who has the most money or more money and can actually financially fight back to cripple the other one and try to silence them. So, yeah, let's see. She said the orders used for decades to control disparaging speech have been expanded in recent years to focus on social media, which in my opinion is wrong because this is how, here's the thing, as you guys have noticed, with the Daddy of 5 thing, abuse of kids being monetized was completely disgusting, made YouTube look bad, had them crack down a whole bunch of other channels. Save James, his psychotic mother trying to turn him into a girl for whatever reason. And she keeps trying to cripple Jeff, and silence him, but story got out anyway. If the conflicting parent can silence the other one from fighting back, but actually cripple them, then they kind of get their way. Also, Chris Clay, hashtag let her stay. JD, the ex that Chris is fighting against just to keep his daughter, this dude is racked up in money. Chris has had to fundraise. So it's a little bit different there, but it's the same thing. As far as I know, for that one, no gag order has been issued, but you guys, again, get the idea. Under such order, she said, my client could write a nasty letter to everyone he knows, but he's not allowed to put it up on social media. You can whisper in your synagogue, make nasty remarks about your ex-wife, but you can't put it on Facebook. Ms. Shack's attorney, Richard M. Novich, said the ruling had an immediate negative effect, prompting Mr. Shank to resume his postings on social media. Here's the thing, because I don't know the postings, I haven't seen the postings, I haven't dug that far into it. At the same time, though, from all the custody cases that I'm familiar with, yeah, like I said, the pattern goes, the parent who has the most money will try to financially cripple the other parent and silence them when there's some real BS going on. So, oh well. At this point, it's oh well because there's a lot of custody cases that are now turning into a rally cry, a need for change, as we've seen. So yeah, I have honestly, I don't care. And usually the people squawking about disparagement or whatnot or wanting to keep the children safe are usually the ones doing BS behind the curtain, like Anne posting James' an address on her website, or Kara's ex-husband being an actual pedophile, and oh, and then let's not forget Save Miles, Breton's they weren't married ex-lover is a nutcase within her own right and has that kid, Miles, completely, and I'm not insulting him, but as a completely mentally warped. So, and the kid is also autistic, so that adds an extra level of severity to that one. Let's continue. Let's see, within the last 24 hours of the Shake case being issued by the SJC, he's right back at it, blowing up social media. He said there's nothing that stops him. While Mr. Novich called the decision constitutionally sound, he said that common sense would suggest that the children should be insinuated from the comment between parents. Yeah, and I will agree with that part, but at the same time, some parents will demonize the other parent. It happens, or they demonize each other. It will give license for a lot of bad actors to say what they want regardless to where and when the circumstances, he said. That's why there's now a part of court hearings discovery, especially when it comes to social media. So no, you're getting a little bit too far out there, I think. The case underscored the role social media can play in modern divorce as dueling parties try to win support from their circle of acquaintances. Oh, so you mean the court of public opinion versus the actual legal court? Yeah, public opinion has a big effect nowadays. We've seen people canceled. We've seen people like brought up again from their dire circumstances. We've seen all kinds of things. So yeah, shortly after filing for divorce and seeking to remove Mr. Shack from their shared home, Mrs. Shack filed a motion to prohibit him from posting disparaging remarks. Oh, from their shared home. So that kind of begs the question, was his name? Was it a bot house? Oh, there's so many ways you can dive down that rabbit hole. Again, I haven't dug into this. About her son on social media, about her on social media, two family court judges complied with the second, George F. Fulan, issuing an order preventing both Mr. and Mrs. Shack from posting any disparagement of the other party on social media until their son reached the age of 14. That's funny. That is so freaking funny. Judge Fulan's ruling prevented both spouses from using for-specific explanative as well as other pejoratives involving any gender? That's an interesting bit. Spouses from using for-specific expletives as well as other pejoratives involving any gender. Interesting why that's in there. Noting that the court acknowledges the impossibility of listing herein all the opprobrious vitriol and their permutations with the human lexicon. Holy crap, there's some words in there I've never seen before, so... it has also banned the parents from posting photographs of their son in poses the judge considered inappropriate. What the? Okay, that's a little weird. Let me see. The court finds that the father's posing, taking, and posting of the photo of the party's child, then less than 1 year old, with a cigarette in his mouth, was in poor taste, even intended as a joke, and causes the court to question the father's maturity, the judge wrote. Okay, so was it the father that had this cigarette in his mouth, or was it the kid? Let's see. Finds the father posing, taking the posting of the photo of the party's child listed with a cigarette in his mouth. Posing, take. I want to assume the father and hopefully not the kid because, yeah, yikes. But Judge Freeland also put the order on hold to review it on constitutional grounds by the Supreme Judicial Court, and this week the court found it unconstitutional. An order preventing someone from carrying out a certain kind of speech known as a prior restraint is legal in the United States, when the threat of damage caused by that speech is compelling. Well, you have to define damage, and then you have to define compelling too, I would believe, or would hope. Considering how, like, for example, Anne Georgelis of St. James, her business has been failing. I actually remember it being brought up how Anne used to own 4 houses, but now owns 3. And people were fleeing from her business. So once more and more people found out what she was doing, she's been losing clients left and right. I don't have any sympathy because if you were my pediatrician and I had a kid and I found out you were doing that crap to your own son, oh, I'd bail and blast you all over social media to stay away from you because you're crazy. So again, I would hope these damage and compelling are defined properly and actually looked into. Was it the result of the conflicting parents' own actions and people learning what's actually going on, or was it because of the other party? So that needs to be defined, I feel. I don't know if it is. The ruling noted that one spouse, if offended by the other's speech, has the option of suing for defamation or seeking a harassment prevention order. It is also noted that the judge's ruling does not apply to voluntary non-disparagement agreements. So if both parties agreed, then this ruling does not apply. However, if both parties disagree, one says you be quiet, the other one says no, I won't, this order applies. So from my understanding. What are people with common sense going to do? They're going to go in the hallway and reach out in a court in which each agrees not to disparage the other. Not with custody cases. I mean, that's rare from what I hear. That's few and far between. You're lucky if you get that. Then Mr. Novich, Mrs. Shack's attorney, it will be based on the agreement of the parties, not the judicial fiat. Ruth A. Birkin, a senior attorney from the American Civil Liberties Union, the co-author of amicus brief supporting Mr. Shack, said she was relieved by the Massachusetts Supreme Court ruling. We are so grateful that the SJC reiterated the First Amendment principles and recognized that they applied here, she said, comparing social media to the new town square. That's what it is, she said. Just because it's bigger doesn't mean that we can say that the rights of free speech don't apply. Having a government actor say you can say this and not say that, it is a somewhat scary alternative. Anyway, but yeah, so as you can see, the tide is starting to change. This was by Massachusetts Supreme Court where they said pretty much, no, you can't tell them to shut up. You can sue them if you want, whatever. But no, and this has to do with the custody case. It never freaking fails. The pattern. One parent's like, no, I want the kid. You go away. You're over, whatever. You shut up. Financially cripple you. Da 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 da. The other parent's like, no, you're not going to do that anymore. More and more parents are starting to defy the gag orders. And I'm glad to see that because it's about time family court changes. The more I see of it, the more of it I discover to be a nightmare. Again, save James, save Miles, Justice for Cars, kids, Chris Clay. Those are just the tip of the iceberg or gleam off the tip of the iceberg. Anyway, this has been Kayla, your humble host. And tell me what you guys think. I'll link the article below. And I will see you guys in the next one. See ya.